Hi everyone, this video is to help you with a few questions from the 11.6 and 7 Edulastics. So I got a couple questions on number 4. So note that this is a prism. It's a triangular base prism, which means that it's lying on its side. So think about if you were to flip this over and the triangles would be on the bottom and the top. So this triangle here is still the base. So the big question is, how do you find the height of the triangle, though? So if the base is an equilateral triangle, and this is always going to be true if the base is an equilateral triangle, because you're going to have some questions on 11.7 about this. The height is an altitude that is also a bisector. So if this whole thing is 10, then if all these sides are 10, then this half is 5. So the height we can find by using Pythagorean theorem, or easier, using special right triangles. So this would be like x square root 3, and 2x, because notice that this would be 30, and that would be 60. And then if the 5 would be x, and 2 times x would be the 10, and then therefore the height of this triangle is 5 square root 3. All right, so then to get the surface area, you would take 1/2, you would get the area of the base, so 1/2 base times height. The base is 10, and the height is 5 square root 3. So that would be, this simplifies to 5. 5 times 5 is 25, so 25 square root 3. You're going to double that because you have 2 bases, and then each lateral edge would be 10 times 8, so 80. Then you have 3 of them, so times 3, and then add that to your triangular bases. Okay, and then you can figure out the volume once you know this. I think this simplifies to like 43.3 for area of the base. So let's see if there's another question on here that people were struggling with. I don't think so. This one just, whatever the cylinder is, just do half of it, I guess. Just think about it. All right, for today's assignment, there was a couple things on here that were tricky to people. It's just like if it takes 6 inches to fill up in the cone, it's going to take 1/3 of that to fill up in the cylinder. So 1/3 of 6 is 2. And okay, for this one, remember that if the scale factor is 2, you would take 2 and cube it to get 8. So multiply the volume by 8. Now for part C, a little bit different because you're dividing. So to get the scale factor, you would take 4.8 divided by 8, get that fraction, or that's going to be a decimal, cube it, and that's what you will multiply the volume by to get the volume of cone 4. I actually made this question up myself. So. All right, for this one, how do you get the area, how do you get the volume of this? Because you have to subtract it from this. It's not just, you can't just do the 2/3 part, because that's for only if their bases are the same. But the area of this square base is not the area of the larger square base. So you can't use that like 2/3 relationship. What you're going to have to do is figure out what this side length is. So take this as a right triangle. It's a 45, oh wow, that's the worst right triangle I've ever seen. It's a 45, 45, 90 triangle because you've got 2 sides that are the same. If this whole thing is 10, they're saying this is split up in half. So this would be 5, and this would be 5, 5, 5, 5 square root 2. All right, so to figure out the volume of the pyramid here, it's a square base pyramid. So it's 1/3 area of the base times the height. The height is 10. The base, area of the base is just length times width. So 5 square root 2 times 5 square root 2. You don't even need a calculator for this one. 5 times 5 is 25. Square root 2 times square root 2 is just 2, so that would be 50. All right, plug everything in, rounded 2 decimal places. Number 11. Okay, this one is very special. So this is an equilateral triangle here that's side length is 2 square root 3. So this is just like number 4 and the other assignment from yesterday, except you've got square roots. And I'll give you a hint. You do not need your calculator at all for this question. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this triangle like this. This is 2 square root 3. So I'm going to put the 2 square root 3 over here. I'm going to draw in the altitude, just like I did for the question 4 on the other one. If this whole thing is 2 square root 3, then each one is the square root 3. So I'm still given my short leg. I'm trying to find the height, which is the long leg. So I'm going to set up this chart here that I like to do. So if this is square root 3 is my x. And then that means x, which is square root 3 times the square root of 3 is just 3. So the height of this triangle is 3. Okay, this doesn't really look like a height. It's just like slanted, so it is the height though, it's 3. So to figure out the area of the base, I would do 1/2 times the base of the triangle, which is 2 square root 3, times the height, which is 3. So the 1/2 and the 2 is going to cancel, and you get 3 square root 3. All right, then to figure out the volume, I would do 1/3 times the area of the base, which is 3 square root 3, times the height, which is x. 1/3 and 3 cancel. So you get 7 square root 3 which is the volume, equals 3 square root 3 times x. So now your answer should be obvious. You don't even need a calculator. All right, so I hope that helped you with those questions. And you guys have a great day. Let me know if you needed help on any of the other ones that I didn't talk about.